everyone.
Hi.
It's a lovely day, evening. Of course, the sun is not out, but it's really nice.
It's great outside.
It's great outside, and just feels so good in the state of Florida and Miami, any other places that we go, like Hollywood. It's been a great time.
Yes.
And I hope that wherever you are, you're having a good time too. So welcome to the Jesse
and Angela
Love Show.
Well, we have several topics that we want to discuss this evening before we get into our main topic. The first one is dealing with the Bangkok, Thailand. They're having some issues right now regarding with the government, Prime Minister. His name is Peace Bahajava. And they're the thing is that the demonstrators are trying to get him to resign his position, because what they felt as the demonstrators, they felt that he was manipulating the system by the courts and backing by the powerful militaries, and he has also the difference between with the poor. So the thing is that he's saying he's not backing down, and he supports his army of all the things that is going on. He have already have casualties that has already took place, which you have 22 people who have died from this war they have, and they have over 170 people who have been wounded and and other things. So he's saying that he's saying that the problem is some terrorists infiltrated the red shirt protesters. So he didn't specifically say what kind of terrorists, and how in the world are you saying terrorists when these are your own people? So I think it's an excuse.
I think it's an excuse too, and I think that, I don't know what you would call it, but compensate for what he's doing.
Right.
And I mean, you're not specific what type of influencing the
red shirts.
The red shirts to do that. I don't think so. I think the red shirts had already planned to do what they were going to do. Obviously, they have talked about all of us wear red shirts, so they know who we represent.
Right.
And the terrorists had nothing to do with that, for sure.
And then I think too is that being as a communist country, I think they wanted to say, what he's trying to say is that he wants control. He wants that control again. And for having a terrorist, an outsider, to come in and actually say, hey, this is what's going on. These people have been influenced by the terrorists, and this is what causing them to be out here and protesting. Bloodsheds has been performed, injuries and other casualties, other things may have happened. And he's saying he's not backing down. He said he supports the army and what they're doing.
And people are not happy.
No,
people are not happy, and they have the right to speak out. So communist countries, you normally don't want their people to speak out. They want the hierarchy. It's the only one that's really should have the say so over anything that's going in the government or in the city or state or whatever you want to call it.
Exactly.
So.
And then this is what he stated. This is the Prime Minister Peace Bahajava. I insist that if we want to see an end to the loss of life, the only way is to have the protesters end their protests. That's what he said.
Oh, he sounds like a dictator.
Exactly.
Big time dictator, doesn't care if people are lost of life. So he's saying that some people will be murdered.
Exactly.
People will be killed because of the protesting.
Exactly. And this is supposed to be a real high tourist attraction in that area.
Yeah.
And so they usually call it the land of smiles. Now it's the land of smiles to frowns because of what is going on.
Right.
They said that now the terrorists, they call them terrorists, or the protesters are affecting the the people, the tourists to come because of what's going on. So it's teetering towards the instability of the tourist attraction being declined.
Yeah.
And because of this going on, so we definitely gonna have to pray and and I support the red shirt protesters for what they're doing. They're standing up for their rights. They're standing up for their belief.
Right.
They're
and
standing
I think
up with
compromise.
exactly. So if there's wrong in the
to a certain extent.
Right. If there's wrong going in the government, then yes, you have the right to protest, but it doesn't mean that you have to be killed for it. It doesn't get to the point where people are being killed because of this. And that right there is not right.
So he's just making up, and he had made up in his mind what's going to happen if they continue to protest.
Exactly. So, if this continue, bloodshed will continue, and he doesn't care. That. And that's it. It's unbelievable.
Yes, we're going to keep up with that. We're going to keep, checking that out and see what's going on there, and see if there's any changes for the better for the people there in Thailand.
Exactly. Now another topic that we want to discuss is happened in Charlotte, North Carolina, where former governor, Alaska Governor Sarah Palin, who had warned the National Rifle Association about that President Barack Obama is going to wants to ban the gun laws, and the only thing I have a problem is that here's somebody who wants to be potential 2012 presidential candidate, and she is a longtime member of the NRA.
No.
She's going to try to influence these people by putting negativity in their head, saying that President Obama is trying to, ban the gun law, ban carrying guns. And right now, I think his mind is pretty much on doing other things, trying to get this bill together and trying to get the state, the state or this country back on track.
Exactly.
And here's this woman who not really bright, me personally, because if you was talking about you want to be a 2012 presidential candidate, you should never gave up your office as a governor.
It should have never happened.
Never should have gave up that.
Because that shows strength when you stay there
Exactly.
in the midst of storms and trials and tribulations, in the midst of disagreements, whatever, whoever. That shows strength.
Right.
But it doesn't show strength when you give up your position as a governor.
Oh, no.
And you want to be a president? Oh, no. I don't think so.
Yeah, and she called herself Mama Grizzly. First she was saying that they had called her a pit bull, but she's considered herself Mama Grizzly. Don't ask me why, because it doesn't make any sense. But
a pit bull would have stayed in there. A pit bull, the characteristics of a pit bull, when it fights, it locks on.
Exactly.
And it doesn't want to let go. You might have to kill it before it lets go. You understand? So I don't know about that one.
I know, that's kind of, I don't know.
I don't know the pit. I don't see the pit bull in her.
I know, it's...
And I don't have nothing personally against the lady.
No,
but I don't think she should be able to run for the president.
No, she got a lot of homework to do. A lot of homework. I mean, what she's trying to do is trying to strengthen the Republican Party and trying to help the Republicans win their November ballot and try to sweep away the Democratic agenda. So that's her whole goal. She's trying to make herself big so that she can tough. So then when she gets into the 2012, she can say, this is what I've done, this is what I spoke about, this is what,
But you have a lot of intelligent women, and they know better than that. Now you have the ones that are still intelligent, but maybe be weak-minded to believe that that's the way she's trying to go. But you have some highly intelligent women that just respond in a negative way against that.
Exactly.